Recording, and here we go. It begins in 3, 2, 1.
I beat your face with my blood.
You're listening to The Instance.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Instance. This is The Instance, episode 372. At least I think that's accurate. We missed last week, so who knows? This is the World of Warcraft podcast, so you don't have to. I'm Scott Johnson, joined today by, let's start with Dills. Dills, hey, man.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. Good to be back.
Yeah.
I missed last week. Yeah.
So
much wow.
Propping up the West Coast as always, doing what he has to do. Yo.
I hope my mic isn't too loud.
No, you sound fine this week.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think we tweaked
I
it.
don't want to anger people.
No, people are whatever. They're picky. You know what it is? It's just normally this show is always sounds so good that if we're off by 1 decibel, the world falls apart.
We have high standards, guys.
That's right, and keeping those.
Yeah, I hate that as well.
Keeping those standards high. It's Terpster over there. What's going on?
Hello.
Hello.
Not much.
Yeah,
Not much,
yeah.
really.
How's you were playing a little Hearthstone before we started. How's that match going?
Yeah, owning. I already owned him. Easy.
I'm pretty sure Terpster doesn't care about this, but I'm sorry about the World Cup, Terpster. I'm sorry.
Oh, what happened?
Yeah, no, I found out about that today. Apparently, England
is not good right now.
Yeah, well, we'd never have any chance of winning, but somehow the whole nation forgets that in the build-up to the World Cup and is like starting to. Everyone's building like little shrines in their house of where they're going to put the photo of the winning team.
Yeah.
Oh, they're the UK. Yeah, we'll get those up on the wall. It's going to look great. And then every year, every 4 years, we're devastated when we go out straight away.
But you guys have actually won it before, right? In the past?
In one,
Like
yeah,
forever ago?
1966. Yeah,
Okay.
we beat the Germans, and
You
we
always
like to
have
remind them
1966.
2 World Wars and 1 World Cup.
Oh.
So that's what we say to them.
Okay.
Alas, I don't think it's on the cards. Apparently, if Italy win their match today, and if we beat our next game and score like 40 goals, we're going to get through anyway. So it's not.
Yeah.
Right, let's not count us out of the running just yet.
Yeah,
We might make it.
that 40 goals thing seems very possible. Seems totally doable.
I don't know. I think we've got to score like 6 touchdowns and then get a home run, and then we're through. But I don't know exactly.
That's too bad.
I will say
good
that I'm not the most fevered of soccer football fans.
Yeah.
So
People are taking it making it a bigger deal here in the States than they usually do.
Yeah.
I feel like
Well,
more
they actually
than
won the first game.
I
so
think
that
that's what it is. If we have any like semblance of a win, then everybody suddenly is on board. The minute the
I feel
U.S.
like
is out,
my
we're done.
generation, though, my generation is like more into soccer than before in America because we all grew up playing soccer. Like we all played soccer as little kids.
That's a good point. I think that even ekes into my whole range because soccer was everything when you were a kid. And before that, my parents never played soccer. They had no idea what that was. Even my brother, who's 10 years my senior, he never played soccer.
But I played for 12 years or something like that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So.
How are your knees? Your knees okay? Holding up?
My knees are fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. My daughter's boyfriend has like triple surgeries on his knees from soccer, so things are going well.
wow.
For him. Yeah. He's really into this though. He is so into it. It's
That's good.
That's like the Super Bowl for him every day while this goes on.
Well, for the first game, I wore an American flag T-shirt with no sleeves, sleeveless, obviously.
Of course.
But a full American flag. I have my USA fanny pack.
Yeah.
I got my
Bum bag,
white,
Terpster.
blue headbands.
USA.
Terpster, that's a
Got
bum bag,
USA
just so you know.
socks.
Yeah.
Bum bag. Yeah.
Some camo cargo shorts, obviously, because that's
Camo, because you wouldn't want people to see them.
America. Yeah. and then I have my sunglasses. They're aviator glasses, but they actually have a flag like on the glass part.
Oh,
I saw
amazing.
you.
can't
I saw
see
some
properly.
photo on Instagram of you dressed like you're describing.
Mhm.
It was frightening.
It happens more often than just World Cup.
Hashtag no filter.
Slightly horrified by what
change
I
that.
saw there. That was
Yeah.
scary.
You're gonna see more of that because this weekend is the FU Open for the MGA. So
I love
celebrate
it.
freedom and unity.
Rep for all of us, man. You're doing it for everybody.
I will do that.
All right, it's a good thing we're back because man, so much happened in Warcraft in the last 2 weeks. Actually, nothing really happened in Warcraft.
So I just got the tune in my head still. It's a good intro. I really like it.
The tune in my head. What?
The tune is still in my head. From the
oh, the tune. I'm like, what the hell's a tune in my head?
The tune in my head is just going on.
Oh, I see. Oh, the music. Yeah, it's good.
I like it.
We love
good.
music.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm never going to listen to that stuff. Oh, gosh, it's so good.
What you have to, in all fairness, because we missed last week,
yeah,
because we were very busy people.
Yeah, we all had stuff.
We haven't talked about the fact that basically the whole game's changed in Warlords, and it's like, honestly, when you start going through like just like the druid changes, it's just like everything's gone.
Yeah.
Or like, you used to be able to do this in any class. Now you can just do it in this class, this spec, and this ability. And it seems like they've really tried to rethink everything, because there's so much ability bloat that's come from a decade of Warcraft.
Yeah.
That they've just completely reimagined or gone back to the core of what classes do. Because a lot of the classes out there, you look at it and you think like, okay, I've got 6 abilities that in essence do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's always nice to see that Blizzard's still going through and looking through it. So there's a whole thing on ability pruning, so Bark Skin is now only available to Guardian Druids and no longer provides pushback protection, but its base cooldown has been reduced to 30 seconds. It's just like there's literally like
everything
things.
has been affected. Yeah, it's true.
And they're just going through little by little, just ripping classes apart and putting them back together again, and trying to make WoW 2.0.
Well, it's funny.
I can't wait to not have so many freaking buttons to like playing a hunter. Is just too much stuff.
Yeah, and when they look at, so the Serpent Sting changes on hunters, for example, that's gone now, and it's just that is now your shot is the same as Serpent Sting, and it's just like it's smart. And the fact is without completely reworking the whole UI, things don't fit. Like when you start playing WoW, it's like, okay, so they've given me these 10 button spaces to put stuff in, or 12, or whatever it is on the toolbar.
Yeah.
And yet they give you 20 abilities you need.
Yeah.
And it's like when you have to start clicking on stuff, that's not as cool. I don't feel like I'm in it as much. I've got to start looking on the bar to find the thing rather than looking on my dude.
Yeah. As much as I love mods and things, it's nice to be able to know that as we move forward, we might be able to rely on more basic UI functionality and not have to have somebody come up with crazy UI routines to make up for this craziness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like the addition of the power auras in, was it Mists or was it Cataclysm?
That
when did they bring it?
I think that was Cata.
Was it Cata?
Might be in Cataclysm.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that for me, it probably was actually. That was the coolest thing that Blizzard ever added to the base game.
Yeah.
Because it did actually shift my focus from the top left corner where my buffs are, top right.
You're watching and waiting for this little tiny icon.
Tiny little icon and a tiny number in there to be like, oh, there's 3 now. I'm going to press the button. To now having it just on screen. I can look where the action is, where they spend all their time animating, making spell effects. And it's a brilliant thing. And I think, this ability prune is hopefully going to trim down all the bloat and the 8 different abilities you have that do, damage over time. Or like when you're a warlock, like how many different types of fire do you need to shoot? There's certain options there, and all the different kind of armor exposing abilities that you have as a rogue, and just all of these different things. You just start. They pruned out a lot of stuff and kind of gone back to the core, and it's really cool to see. So if you haven't seen all the changes, there's too many to read through, really.
Oh yeah,
but you can go on like MMO Champion. It'll be a couple of days ago on the page.
They have a huge breakdown, as they always do.
Shamans. Just to give you your heads up, Hex is now 1.7 cast time.
Yeah,
1.7 seconds.
Get used to that.
So that's your kind of big change. Past that, they have just removed everything else. By the way,
you forget that when they get up on stage at BlizzCon, or they do statements throughout the year, or on the forums or whatever, where they're just saying, "Hey, this is changing," or "This is coming," or whatever. Sometimes they do those in broad strokes, and they say, "We're going to, we're item squishing." It's when you get into the minutia of actually playing in the beta, when you can get in it, or the alpha rather, that you realize how, I guess, fundamentally they're changing the game. They are really ripping things out. And it kind of makes sense to me, because in my mind, Cataclysm was less about an expansion and more about a reworking of the existing world, like literally the physical world you were in. And a lot of people didn't like that focus. So the game that comes after that is a beautiful, very fleshed out, amazing experience, put on top of the existing game. That's what Miss was. Miss was like, here you go, we're going to plop this on top of what you already know, and it will be great. And it was. This game, I was concerned, seemed a little less than what Miss was in that way. This is less of a new world. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's kind of a reworking in its own way. There's a lot of new things, a lot of cool stuff. Certainly the models are neat and all that, but no new classes, no new characters, whatever. You could argue we don't need more of those at this stage of the game and all that, but the bottom line is, for me, this game feels like this is their fundamental systems change.
Yeah,
with a little bit of garnish on top.
I would argue that there's now 10 new classes or 12 new classes. I forget how many classes there are in the game, because they've now reworked them all. And everything's going to play that little bit different. And even like mastery, like how mastery works, depending on your class and spec. You know, for people like, Rep Paladins, it's the same. But for example, like Warlock, Affliction Warlocks, mastery is now going to be haste. For Demonology Warlocks, it's going to be as mastery is now. Destruction Warlocks, it's going to be critical strike. And so, Monks, Brewmaster gets critical strike, Mistweaver gets multi-strike, Windwalker gets multi-strike. So they're actually changing, like, one of the core ability stats that we currently enjoy and how it's going to affect how it all works. Yeah. And so I'm really excited to just get in and play some more. When I did get into the alpha, the Horde was the only thing enabled. Yeah. And I have checked. It is true. It was Horde only at the beginning. It wasn't that I was completely retarded.
But then we were wrong to assume. We assumed maybe you were completely retarded at that point.
Well, exactly. Well, I say you were wrong to assume. I think it's safer to assume that as a thing. But I think that alliance testing has since been introduced.
We're going to get emails for that, but keep talking. Go ahead.
I need to jump in for that. Yeah. But even then, like, just honestly, it's amazing how things look in the alpha already. And for me, I'm a little bit scared in that a lot of it, at least in the version we're playing, isn't done. And so, like, there's whole zones. Like, if you try and get into the next zone from the Orc starting zone, you just get teleported out, and there's like whole citadels that don't have any textures and stuff like that. It kind of, for me, for it to been out, in, was it 5 months? Yeah. 4 months? 6 months maybe, before Christmas. No, it's 6 months today, actually, isn't it? Is the deadline. So they've got 6 months to finish the game.
Yeah.
And wow. I don't know if we're playing older builds or if I'm just, imagining that it's more work than it is.
I think that's older builds.
I think there's a combination of that, though. I think that there's a lot of stuff that's done that is like, it's like done as far as major building, but it's not playable. So to get it from there to playable isn't as much work as it may seem to us.
And I think in Miss, I may be wrong about this even then, but I'm pretty sure we were playing older builds, because I remember going from Alpha, which seemed real janky and broken.
Yeah.
I mean, my panda still had his arms out when he ran. Like, remember that bug? That was really weird. Like, he was flying. And then as soon as the beta hit, like the week later, everything that was buggy was fixed. That seemed a little abrupt to me. So I think, yes, there's probably a combination of things going on, but one of them is definitely we are playing an older build. They've got other things internally. Those may or may not get pushed out to alpha. I guess decisions get made when those
Someone's
things go full
telling me
beta.
that Shadow Moon Valley, the Alliance Zone, still isn't in. So I don't think it's even in now.
It's not in the alpha for us to play. But
right.
It doesn't mean it's not designed. And
No, I've played it at events and stuff. I mean, we played it at BlizzCon. I played it when I went to Paris. I know that they've built a lot of this stuff. Yeah. But again, that's what I just hope that there's more done, because I kind of want it sooner rather than later. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can actually now buy Warlords of Draenor in shops, or you're going to be able to soon.
Pre-order, yeah.
But they have physical boxes going into store, and you go in there, and inside the box, at least the one I got, was a paper CD or DVD with a code on. And so basically you can buy that.
Why are we living in a world where that is a thing now? That's crazy to me.
Well, no, I think so. The idea is obviously it's a digital key, so you can get it now. Exactly, but it's all about store visibility. Yeah. And Blizzard's very hot on
when
this.
you go into a store and you're browsing around, you see,
and you just see this massive wall of World of Warcraft.
Okay, so let's say Dills hasn't played for 3 years. He's in Dills, you're in a GameStop, all right, and you're like, oh, I haven't played that in a while. I mean, is that doing the job? I mean, it seems like you would be. Well, I guess we're the wrong guys. It might not do the
job for me, but the thing is, it doesn't. With things like this, anything like this, they just look at the cost per. Like, if it works on 1 out of 200 guys, and the store, has X number of guys who go in every day.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't, as long as it doesn't cost more than it would bring in, then it's fine.
Yeah, I guess
I'm
the wrong.
This is only in Europe too, which is kind of weird. Why
oh yeah, why is that, Terpster? Why only Europe?
Why you guys are not us?
Because we do it differently, I guess. I
'Cause
guess
you
that
guys
we
still using
perceive
paper
value
things, maybe?
exactly in shop floor presence.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, so what I'm saying is that they're already kind of selling this and making a kind of a promise to the wider public of this game is coming, and I was hoping soon. But again, that's the only thing is that from the tiny bit I've managed to experience in the alpha, it kind of to me seemed like it would be later than soon. But I don't know. I mean, it's got to be. They've said it will be. I hope so.
They have to. They have to.
I mean, when's Blizzard ever not reached a deadline? Come on, let's be honest.
Never happens.
Exactly.
Yeah, they
when
always
they
have
say it's coming out on a date, it will be out on that date.
Yeah,
okay?
they don't cancel
You can
things.
bet
They're not
your
late.
$1 on that.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
But it's still fantastic. And playing it felt like WoW. It looked like something newer and funkier and sexier, which was great.
Yeah.
Still, interestingly enough, I don't know how much the sort of, again, I go on about this all the time, but the younger audience is going to react to it. I mean, we've been playing around doing a few different videos here and there on YouTube. YouTube has a traditionally younger demographic than, say, like Twitch or the rest of the internet, like podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that many younger kids listening to podcasts. They're more likely going to YouTube and to other kind of video on demand services.
Mm-hmm.
And
because people are being really random and funny on YouTube.
well, I guess so. So zany.
Just yelling stuff and swearing.
But,
It's great.
but what's interesting is that, again, it doesn't seem like Warcraft has as much of a sort of hunger behind it from that younger audience. They don't seem to be that bothered about it, even with it looking nicer and sexier and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know if really Blizzard's biggest goal is just to get all of us old guys who haven't played it or stopped playing it or whatever.
I actually have a thought about this. That implies, I'm not saying you're implying this, but there's a general implication that this means that there's a cutoff. Like at some point, a generation said, yeah, we're WoW players, and then the ones behind that, they don't care anymore and they never will. The way it works for me is...
a gradual trickle.
Well, sure, but the way it works for me is like this. When I'm a kid, I wanted to watch MTV, and that's all I cared about. My mom and dad wanted to watch 60 Minutes. And you couldn't put me 5 million feet from 60 Minutes and have me still be comfortable. However, what do I want to do today? I might like me a 60 Minutes episode that talks about something I'm interested in. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying it's exactly the right comparison, but I feel like as gamers mature, let me put it this way. I think that WoW perhaps caters to a more mature audience, and that mature audience will age into maturity and want experiences in games that I guess give them that mature experience. And kids are going to do that too. They're just going to grow into it or out of it or into it again or out of it again or whatever. It's just the way it is. I don't think it's oh man, no one's ever going to play WoW again because these new kids with their freaking YouTube, they're never going to play this kind of game again. Well, I don't think it works that way. I think it's just, and it isn't to say what they're into now, like Minecraft or whatever, isn't good or great. It's just that their taste will change like everyone's does with all the kinds of things they consume, media or otherwise. So,
like when I was 12, I hated the taste of beer, but man, do I like it now.
Right? Right? When you were first...
I love it!
When that weird uncle gave you your first beer at 12 and you were like, I don't like this.
Like, this is horrible.
Right.
Yeah. Something I didn't like about that experience.
Now you're a big fan. So I don't know. It's an interesting question regardless, because they're going to be... they're in this position. I've always thought it was going to be really challenging for them, but they've got 100-level characters now. They've got this legacy of 10 years behind them. What the hell is the future for those guys? And it's really it's a place they've never been. No other MMO has been here with these numbers. Like their MMOs are older, but they don't hold the significance. They don't hold the same cred, and they don't have the same stakes. Like it's a bigger deal.
Before. It's all uncharted territory from here on out. Like,
right.
Once they hit 12 million, everything from then on is all uncharted territory. You
right.
Don't know.
Right. Then everything is bigger as a result.
Yeah.
You
can't look back and say, well, that other game did it like this, so let's not make that mistake. It's like, no, this is the game that's going to make the mistakes or not make the mistakes. And
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think though that the boost to 90 is the biggest thing they could have done to potentially just grab a bunch of people. And that's the one thing. It's like that's either going to make or break this as.
And again, I think it's more geared to bringing old players back though, rather than new ones. Mm-hmm. I think it's about trying to get that guy who stopped playing at the end of Lich King and saying like, "Don't worry, come back. Okay, you can just start off and we can carry on playing.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be.
There's a lot of those
That's
people.
going to be pretty cool.
Clearly, there's like 5 million people who aren't playing.
Or even more. I mean, I'd say there's probably like 20 million.
Yeah.
You know, if you think about how many people have bought World of Warcraft and aren't playing World of Warcraft,
At some point,
there's probably like 100 million.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And then there's the Steam sale, and that's screwing me up. And so let's just throw that in the mix.
How much have you managed to get any cards yet for spending $10 or more?
No.
Does that motivate you?
No.
That little mini meta game?
Well, the problem
I
is
never even care about that.
Well, the problem is there are games on sale that I already own a lot of times because I'm way into that ecosystem, and I've got a million of those games. I have 380 or something in my Steam.
My slash played on all of those games that I already own is 0, but I own them.
All right,
They
you
are
own them.
mine. They're like baseball cards.
Yeah.
Collect them all.
Now, I guess I could
Pokemon.
gift more, you know, like I could give it to friends or something.
Let's
but
let's not be,
let's not be too crazy, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it's just an issue of like, well, if I'm going to earn those cards and earn those points or whatever, this weird fake currency they want to give me, I guess it translates to real currency, but I'd have to buy a bunch of games I already own. I don't see any point in doing that. So it doesn't really apply to me so much. But once in a while, something will pop up. Like I picked up very underrated, or at least, I ignored it, I guess. So that's why it's underrated. But I didn't play last year's Splinter Cell game. And that game's awesome. Holy crap. I picked it up for like $8 and it's not even that old. It came out in like November of last year or something. That game is awesome. It looks amazing. It plays great. It's great. I totally dig it. And
you've got the Mercenaries versus whatever,
that's in there.
mode as well.
That's in there. Good. Yeah, people love that. There's still, and it's very active. Tons of people on Steam playing it. So
not to distract you mid-show, Scott, but in 16 minutes the new daily deal starts.
Whoa,
so,
hold on. Will you make sure to remind? Tell us when it pops up.
I will remind you.
Okay.
In 16 minutes.
Breaking news. We'll have a breaking news interruption and
breaking news that for most of the people listening days later is old.
That's right.
So yeah.
Well, the live people, they're here. We need to give them some love now and again. Anyway.
Okay. Hello, live people.
Let's get into the news.
Big news of the week.
What little there is. Go check out the Blizzard systems, now available at doghousesystems.com and doghousesystems.com/Blizzard. You can pick between Horde and Alliance. If you go Horde, you get Gerp and Henry. At least that art is based on them, but man, so amazing. And if you'd like to have the Alliance side, I think that one's pretty hot too. Right there on the side of your case. These are sweet, and they work for any of those configurations they list on the site. Do check them out, doghousesystems.com, and don't forget our code Henry, HENRY, will get you double the memory at checkout. So go check them out. That's doghousesystems.com/Blizzard. Okay. Is the Black Prince gazing upon you today? Well, it turns out he is.
You won't stop looking, Scott. It's freaking me out.
It's weirding me out.
You don't like that? You don't like have him staring you down there?
All the time. He's all like, hey, I like what you're doing. In fact, I like it so much. I love you twice as much as I previously did.
Yeah.
Honestly, if he was genuinely watching me all the time, he would not like me.
No.
You know, there's stuff that I do in the privacy of my own home.
That's why we got to admire Dills and his sleeveless American shirt thing get up, because he's just letting it all hang out.
Out in the open.
Who cares?
Out in the open.
Yeah, who cares who sees you, man?
What you see is what you get.
You just let it.
And what you get is a dude with a sleeveless American flag shirt on.
That's better than showing your man wiener. All right. So beginning Tuesday, June 17th, this was 3 days ago, I guess, at 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time through Monday, June 30th, so you've only got until Monday, we'll be applying the Gaze of the Black Prince buff, which will increase the reputation gained with the Black Prince by 100%. It will also increase the chance of obtaining items from his foes needed as part of the legendary Cloak questline, including the Secrets of the Empire, Sigil of Wisdom, Sigil of Power, or Titan Runestone. So this is good for me because I've been a slack-jawed yokel when it came to that Cloak quest, and I probably should get on it now that they're giving me some incentive. But don't you think this
equally it's the rep was the hardest bit?
It was
that quest line, because with raid finder and stuff, you can just face roll until you get all the bits.
Right.
But even you get those bits are higher drop chance.
Right. What were you gonna say, Dills?
To me though, I thought that the rep thing was not that hard because I could just sit there by myself and just like kill those dudes on that beach and throw down my Horde banner thing for a little while and get a boost.
Sure.
But having to do LFR for a long time is so frustrating.
Yeah, I don't like it.
That I just gave up. And I was like, nope, I don't care about Valor. I just do not care.
Guess I'm not going to have this here cloak.
Yeah, guess I don't get a cloak.
So I just think it is further proof that Blizzard is interested in doing these boosts more often. Because we had one like what, not even 3 weeks ago. That was the boost of the whatever. I don't remember what it. We
got the Diablo boost, right?
It's the Valor boost. Yeah. Well, we got we had the Valor boost for this, and then Diablo boosted their thing. I just think we're going to see more of that stuff moving forward, where they give you reputation gains, or I don't know.
It's almost like having a sale in a shop, in that it gives a feeling of perceived excitement or specialness about a particular time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Gaze of the Black Prince, I mean, is it a limited time?
Yeah, till Monday. 30th.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like saying, like, come on, guys, what are you doing this weekend? You're playing WoW. And it just encourages people to kind of, I guess, focus on jumping into WoW. And then whilst they're there, they might think like, oh man, I'm back on the source. Man, I was going clean, but wow, I forgot how good this is.
Yeah. That's their hope. You know,
that, and it's a good, strong hope.
Because would you, if I go into a European game store, will I find a box with a piece of paper in it with a code for the Gaze of the Black Prince buff? Is that how you guys handle everything over there?
I think you have to be careful how you say it. I mean, it's Gaze ZE, not YS.
Right.
Because I think Gaze of the Black Prince, I would love to see as well, where it's just a load of homosexual guys walking around just saying like, I love what you're doing. Yeah. You're great. I'm going to tell the Black Prince.
Yeah.
I personally would have loved to have had both.
Yeah. You'd like a buff gay Black Prince.
I would love to be followed by 2 oiled human males.
Yeah.
By my Tauren paladin, and they're just going around with me saying like, "You go, girlfriend," and I would love that. I think that would be absolutely fantastic. Sadly, I feel like I'm in the minority.
Yeah.
But that is something I've come to terms with.
Don't worry though, it's changing. Public opinion is changing over time.
It has. It's gotten better, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it really has.
I think that would be lovely.
I think 59% of people support it now.
Fantastic.
2 years ago, 59% of people opposed.
Yeah,
so.
and when my parents were young, you wouldn't see a buff black gay prince anywhere. He wouldn't have been around.
Wow.
Yeah.
By the way, there's lots of them in my neighborhood. I have
You gotta love San Francisco.
I love San Francisco. Yeah.
95% of San Francisco.
When are you gonna move here, by the way, Terpster?
Yeah. I really do. I honestly don't tempt me because I will.
Yeah,
I will just.
I love it there too. It's too damn expensive though. Man, everything there costs too much.
I'm sure it is, but at the same time, it is worth it.
Unless you're there. If you're there, you make it work, right? But moving there.
But here's the thing, Scott. You make more money when you live in San Francisco.
That's true.
Cost of living's high. They have to pay you more.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's
so
true.
Our minimum wage is going to go up to $15 pretty soon.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Talk to somebody from anywhere else in the country, and they're like, "What?
Yeah.
What?"
That's why I'll never forget the day Veronica, and a fellow San Franciscan, was out here and in the house and leaned over to Tom. This was just last year. Leans over to Tom and says, "Is Scott totally rich or something?" And I said, "What are you guys talking about?" She goes, this house would cost you like $4 million where I live."
Yeah.
I'm like, well, here it costs $225K and it's no big deal. So I guess it's relative.
A mansion in San Francisco.
Yeah, it'd be huge. Nobody has land like that there. I mean, it's ridiculous.
No.
But anyway.
But that's what I like about it. It's so European. It's amazing.
Yeah.
We live in flats.
Right. Flats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a bunch of, you're turning into Europe. Great.
That's what happens. That's where it's at.
What else? We got big changes. We talked about changes in the alpha build, but here are some significant ones that WoW Insider pulled out of those massive notes they put in the forums, which are just too much for me to parse. I mean, honestly, it's just gigantic. So I'm going to rely.
It's worth reading through them, honestly. Get your iPad out next time you're in bed and then just have a read through. Because firstly, you'll be asleep in no time.
It's so long and boring.
It's, honestly, though, it's worth it. It's really worth it.
Is it worth it?
Yeah.
I don't want to know that monks are losing something. You know,
they're losing they're losing dematerialized, Scott. I don't know how you're going to deal with it.
Sparring. So they're losing dematerialized, sparring, and swift reflexes.
You're going to need to have 2 windows open. First, it's going to tell you what they're losing, and the other one is so you can look up what it was.
What it was in the first place. Yeah.
So Transcendence and Zen Meditation are no longer available to Mistweaver monks, and Zen Meditation no longer redirects harmful spells against party members. I know. See, look, look what I've done to Dills.
But honestly, it's so good to kind of go through. Like with Warrior, so many of the abilities now require stances again. And that was what it's like in vanilla. Like you wanted to shield bash, you better be in defensive stance.
Well, you remember stance dancing? Yeah, that was the thing.
Exactly. That was the whole thing. I used to like macro up half of my abilities so that I would click them. It would switch the stance, cast the ability and then switch back. You know, it was a beautiful time. Yeah. And I mean, Blizzard was like, oh well, if people are going to do that, we'll just get rid of it because, you know, what's the point if people are just going to macro? We don't want people to have to macro everything. But there is a certain amount of joy to having, you know, this sort of less homogenous class. Well,
look how stancy.
I am different because I'm me.
Right, but look how stancy they are now. So they not only lose Flurry and Meat Cleaver, but hosts of abilities are basically all stance specific. So Taunt, Shield Slam, Revenge, Mass Spell Direction, you know, all these things require, you know, either defensive stance only or defensive stance, gladiator stance only. Like, that seems like a very fundamental shift, either backwards to an older time or, for some players, an entirely new way to play that class. Are we worried at all where this is going to alienate people? Like, I'm excited about all this. I think this is great. This complete fundamental changes to everything I think is good for refreshing the game. But aren't we also saying there has to be this possibility of players who are just going to rage quit because they just can't deal with this?
We get emails about this all the time. Like, you remember the last time they changed mages or whatever it was? Somebody emailed us, was like, I'm just not going to play this game anymore because I finally learned how to play good. Now I have to learn how to play good again. Yeah. And
no, but
there are definitely going to be people like that. You know,
for every one of those, there's basically everyone else who's like, oh, cool. Now they've mixed it up a bit. I've got to rethink this. You know, they've redefine the fun in my class.
You get the fun moment of figuring stuff out again, which like Terpster, you described this like stance dancing, building the macro thing. Like when you build it, you feel like you're clever, right? Like
yeah, exactly. I was a badass. Yeah, I managed to go to like Wowhead, probably Thoughtbot back in the day.
Yeah. Sure.
And I was just
Alakazam.
like
stand on the shoulders of some other guy who figured it out. Yeah, but I mean the fact is,
I was a badass.
Like you feel like you are. You're being good at the game. You're taking steps to actively be good at the game, and that's something that people really like to feel. So,
well, I can tell you what's happening with me in Diablo is this. I'm having this feeling right now. I found a build on my own. I didn't use anybody else's recommendations for my wizard, and I got him to a place where I've got the rhythm I like. I'm on the difficulty I want to be on, and it's higher than normal. I feel like I'm just it's a lot higher than normal. It's Torment 3. But I'm kicking A with this build, and I love it. And it feels, I know it's not true because millions of people could do it, but it feels like I discovered this thing. Like I figured it out and I honed it and I made it mine.
Well, no, I think that's the nice thing.
People like to feel that way, you know?
Diablo, though, as well, is that not every build works for everyone because it's so gear dependent. And it's like, you know, for this build to work, you're going to need to have all of these different abilities.
Sure. It's like, also fun dependent, which I like about that game too, because even if you're not having the exact right gear to get, you know, the perfect Captain America build for your Crusader or something, you still can do a lot of what those things give you with maybe one or two caveats because it's just straight up fun to do. In some cases, I mean, it would be a little weird because like that Captain America build definitely needs, you know, gear to work right. But my point is you can do stuff just for fun. And you can kind of get away with it. And WoW, it's a little harder. And I feel like people are going to just... Like this idea when Greg would get up on stage in years past and he would say, we're trying to figure out a way to make it so you feel very unique. You're totally unique. You can go different directions and not feel like you're trapped. And they have worked their ass off to do that. But at the end of the day, there will always be the perfect builds in WoW. And everybody will look them up online and try to emulate them. And there's just... I mean, what do you do about that? There's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing really, but they are making it so that, like, you know, all of the racials are going to be, because, you know, the previous times it was, you got to be an orc to be good at this, and you got to do whatever. Like, they really are starting to balance that stuff out, and I think we're getting closer to what Blizzard wants. Like, when I read through this stuff, I go, yeah, this is moving in that direction, and they've been moving in that direction for a while, so it's never going to 100% get there, but you can just get as close as you can, you know, where I can play a stupid build and still be doing fine, and no one's, you know, like no one's the wiser.
Right.
Like they just think I'm crappy at the good build, maybe, but you know,
that is the
build I like.
And that's more of a it's more of a psychological thing, right? Like in this game, if you're in a group and you're loving your build and you think that Beastmaster's great in a raid and you're playing it to the best of your ability, but you're doing it mainly because you like how it feels, and you're not going to be able to avoid the idea that everyone else is running, you know, whatever, to see how your DPS is, and they are all noticing, well, it's not as good as it could be, and they're all thinking, well, why? Yeah, they're all. I hate that part of WoW. Yeah, I hate it. Even with friends, they're like, "Hey, Scott, how you doing all right over there?" Why? Because my DPS is a little low. Can't we just have fun in here? We're kicking
Dad,
ass.
Are you distracted right now?
Yeah,
or
what are you
what's going
doing,
on?
man? You watching TV?
Be like, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely not a noob. I'm watching TV. Sorry, guys. Sorry, it's this goddamn TV show.
Yeah.
Keeps making me stand in the fire.
It's all TV. Anyway.
No, but the thing is there will still be that. Like as a hunter, we don't know yet, but like maybe the hunter without the pet is going to be by far and away the best one, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a hunter joins LFR and he's got a pet out, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh my god, you noob! You're playing the build with a pet. What the hell is wrong with you?"
Right.
But as long as the hunter,
Can we get a
with the
warrior that has a shield, please? Come on. And I'm like, I can tank without a shield.
as long as they're close enough, though, then nobody can really say anything. You know, that's the point. Like they don't have to be perfectly balanced, but as long as they're more balanced, then
Can this
It's fine.
mage stop queuing as a healer, please? I'm
Please.
like, let me be the healer I want to be.
Cold.
I play a healer mage.
Cold
Okay?
healing, cold
let
healing.
me bandage you.
Yeah.
Shut up
Okay.
and let me bandage you.
Stop taking damage.
Yeah.
No, you God.
You bastard.
I
You-
can't heal that much damage.
I don't know.
have
It's all
bandages.
very weird. There's somebody in the chat room suggested Jawstra, I think is how you'd say his name, said that you know, will the just straight up you know, whole hog removal of spells and abilities drive some people away from the game? Because if you know, become real fond of, I don't know,
Dematerialize?
Dematerialize.
Yeah, that was the only reason I played my monk. Dematerialize.
but this you know, like we're getting not distracting shot back. Trank
I
shot
think-
or something. Anyway, what?
Yeah, you're
Go ahead.
getting. Hang on, let me find.
We're getting something back that was taken away, which is rare these days.
Blizzard giving back, huh?
I know, right? But you know what I mean. Like if something major gets taken away, Warriors getting rid of Flurry and Meat
what
Cleaver.
you'll find is that they won't change the class to the point where it feels incomplete. But what they'll do is they'll trim it down to the point where, again, it's simple to play,
Yeah.
but hard to master.
Right.
And it's got to be back to that state where it's not just like, holy crap, how many buttons am I juggling? To actually the point of, okay, you have 6 abilities and every class has like a mini game.
Yeah.
And you play the mini game. Like with my Paladin, I have to generate 3 stacks of holy power and then spend it.
Yeah.
And that's my mini game. And then I have to make sure that I've, you know, currently that I use Inquisition and then I do all these other things. It changes in Draenor. But still, you know, we've got all of these different mini games, you know, with the balanced druid, you go all the way to the moon, then you go all the way back to the sun. Then you go all the way to the moon. Then you go back to the sun, and you're playing this like little mini game. And it's just trying to make sure that your kind of 30-second, 5-minute mini game, whatever it is fun to play. And that is WoW in a nutshell. Really, it's just this collection of mini games that you're kind of getting your rotation down to a point where you're like, I feel good. I'm strong. I can press this button. When this thing happens on screen, I press that button.
Yeah.
I've got this mini game nailed. And
Right.
those are the sorts of things that actually Blizzard just needs to tighten up on. And they need to every now and then rework, because you've been playing that mini game for 10 years. So if they kind of just make it a little bit different, you'll find actually that, you know, oh, this is fun again. I didn't used to like playing a Warlock, but now I like playing a Warlock again because it's different and it's fun, or it's more like this, or it's more like that.
Yeah.
And I think Blizzard, you know, they know what they're doing. They're not at a point where they can kill WoW. And they just need to, again, tighten it up, make sure it feels accessible. It's not too bloated and too, you know, kind of, if you had anything that you have to explain with, oh, well, you see back in Wrath, or, you know, anything like that, where you have to prefix it with, you know, in the last game, it was like this, then it shouldn't be there. And that, like I said, it feels like it's good. Like the alpha's in the right direction, but I'm just trying to think about if it's going to be enough.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it will be. Of course,
Well, and
it will be. But I want to
there's
see
a sea of people who say things like, you know, oh, great, dumbing down the game again, you know.
But I think this gives the actual ability to make it harder with Mystic level raiding. You know, Mythic, if you like to say it properly.
Yeah, if you want to say the real word they applied to it, yeah.
With Mystic level raiding, there's this ability now to have you know, some real fun at super high end content that's going to make for, you know, some incredible stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not for everyone. And equally, if they've made it really simple, they can make it really punishing if you get something simple wrong. Back when it's like really hard, they can't be that much of a douche that they're like, okay, guys, if you get one thing wrong, we're gonna have you die. But they can if it's really simple. If you have to press 6 buttons and you fail to press one of those 6 buttons, then Blizzard can make that really, really hard.
Yeah.
And it's not to say, like, you know, I've played, you know, iPad games that you press one button that are stupidly hard.
Right.
And so Blizzard can do that with Warcraft very easily, and they just need to put it in the right place.
Yeah.
So for the people complaining about, oh, this isn't, this is too easy, you're playing the wrong part of the game. Blizzard, I'm sure, will cater for you and will make sure that it is, plenty hard enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I think it's.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like having to press certain buttons wasn't that fun. I don't understand why people think that is fun.
It's
like,
not fun.
Like back in the day when I was
out
playing
the way.
my Hunter,
Yeah.
I had to go into aspect of the Viper or whatever to like get my mana back.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun. Like it was just a thing I had to do. It was not enjoyable to have to do it. Like they're doing stuff like getting rid of Divine Plea for Paladins, which is just like get my mana back thing. At some point in the fight, I have to use it.
Right?
Yeah,
completely different now.
But like the point I'm making is that like, is it fun to like have to do stuff to sustain yourself, or is it fun to just be sustained then do the thing that's actually fun, which is?
But sometimes it's fun to have the ability to save other people, and so I can innovate for a druid, being able to innovate the mage so he can continue kicking ass.
Sure, that stuff's great.
That can make you feel useful.
Sure.
Again, in those big multiplayer raids.
Yeah, it's positive buffing though, or it's. I remember again Greg talking about this at one point. They want to eliminate the things that seem like negative work, and do things that create positive work. And innovate is a positive thing, and it's group building, and it's there's a lot of positives to.
But stuff that you just have to do because you just have to do it. That's just like maintenance, and that's the thing. It's like maintenance is not fun.
Yeah.
Like I don't like working on like when I have to fix something on my motorcycle, not that much fun. When I ride my motorcycle, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So let's just all ride the motorcycle.
Focus on riding it and how you're riding it. Yeah. I'm with you there.
Let's do that. Let's keep that going and make that more fun.
Positive momentum. How can I buff my motorcycle so that during this stretch I can do an extra 10 miles per hour and not spend any gas? Like it's a fine line. I mean, I don't want to oversimplify this. When it comes to game mechanics, there are reasons you die, there are reasons you have lives, or there's reasons you have respawns or health regen, or there's a million things. But this reminds me. So here's a good example. We played that Destiny alpha last week, and it was great. Really enjoyed it. And it incorporates one of the things that team really innovated with the original Halo, which is regenerating health. And now everyone does it. Like, that's just the way games go. Occasionally you'll see a game that doesn't. But back in the day when you played your first-person shooter, it was work to go find health packs. It was not positive work. It was negative work. And it kept you from the positive work of annihilating your enemies. Regen kind of created a negative and a positive at the same time. It's like, well, I need to heal, so I've got to get somewhere where I can do that. I just need to duck behind some cover for 10 seconds or whatever it is, and then I can get back into the fray. That's, I think, a good example of innovation in the way that I'm talking about, is putting more of a positive spin on a mechanic and moving out of the maintenance part or the work part that takes you in a negative direction. Yeah,
and at this point too, all of that stuff is kind of automated anyway, because people have done all the work of figuring out how best to do it, and it's really just like, okay, I got to go and I just have to do this. I have to click these buttons in this order to finish this thing, and it's just annoying. It's not fun.
I agree.
And so I'm all for it. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's prune. Let's fix. Let's get rid of everything.
I'm excited for a whole new. I want to. The alpha. Terpster's right. You walk out in that alpha and you go, oh my gosh, everything's different here. Like, this is all different. I'm playing this mage and I'm like, ooh, I don't know what the hell is all this. I even had to log into my other mage and go, oh yeah, that's totally different now. Like it's kind of freaky, but in a good way. I enjoyed that. Let's see. Finally, in the news, if you want that Doomhammer replica, you better hurry. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
They are selling out of them. When they're done, they're not making any more. When they're gone, they are gone. We'll have a link in the show notes to the page on the store where you can get it. Doomhammer replica. This is the prop replica. Is that the metal one? I think it is, because that's the $349 one.
Yes.
I want it.
It's a big one.
I don't want to spend that money, but I really want one. It's so expensive.
Sadly, that's how it works, though.
Is that how it works? You got to actually pay for things you want.
Spend the money. Yeah.
Do we have a? By the way, do we have
I got stopped out of the shop.
No, you did. Nice. Did you get a? Did we have an update on the Steam flash sale? What's going on?
Sorry. No, I had that one job, didn't I?
Yeah, you had one job to do.
Sorry.
And you failed.
New deals in. Here we go. State of Decay. No, terrible. Extreme Legends, terrible. Amnesia, Machine for Pigs. Meh.
I did
RPG
not.
Maker.
Whoa! You said
Plague Inc.
State of
Evolved.
Decay is not terrible. That's a pretty fun game. I like that game.
Well,
It's all right. It's janky, but it's fun.
I guess it's like $5. Game Dev Tycoon. I love that game. You should play that.
I have that.
Prison Architect. Amazing. That's like $10. The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 3. Or it's the Season 2 pass. I don't know.
Yeah.
Walking Dead's quite fun.
It's good.
But
it's a little dark, but yeah, it's good.
Plague Inc. Evolved is good fun as well.
What is it?
If you haven't played Plague Inc.
Oh,
Evolved.
Plague Inc. Yeah. Isn't that on? It's an iPad deal as well.
Yeah, you can get it on iPad as well, which is it's fun, but it's on PC.
I think I own it there. All right. Well, then that's underwhelming. I'll just say
underwhelming.
That.
Yeah. But I mean, they can't be winners every day.
All right. I know. I gotcha.
Contrast is the flavor of excitement.
Here you go.
Horde side.
That's how we'll celebrate that. All right.
Go.
Let's jump into some of these right here. World of tweets. Tweets. All right. Here we go. This one, I don't know who this. Oh, this one's a forum post, but I thought it was interesting. Person said, I'm feeling like I'm already supposed to know these characters in this expansion, and it's kind of like being a stranger at a party where everyone knows each other, but you don't know anyone. So at Warlords, if you don't know a lot of the backstory of the history of Azeroth and stuff, it can be a little daunting, I assume. The reply came, one super important thing to keep in mind is that the alpha is currently lacking the Warlords of Draenor intro experience we're working on. By the time you reach the point where the current alpha template characters start, you'll already have been introduced to many of the characters you're interacting with. That should probably help you feel like less of a stranger. And I predict, for the first time since probably, well, I guess Kata kind of did this, but I think the cinematic is going to be much more like Cataclysm and much more like Wrath of the Lich King in that it will tell some of this story. I think we're going to see what's going on without giving it.
Last year or last expansion, they showed it off at Gamescom. Do you reckon they'll do that again?
Yes, I do. I think it's time. Cool. Don't you think? I mean, that makes.
Well, I'd hope so because it's either there or BlizzCon, really. But it depends. Like, I don't know again how far the game is.
Yeah.
But you'd hope that was really cool last time.
Yeah, I would. If I had money, if I was to bet money, I would say that they will do the same they did last year. The timeline feels right, and I'm totally jonesing for it. When is Gamescom? When is that?
August the 20-something. Oh no, August the 13th.
You'll be at that,
something
won't
like
you? You'll be there.
I'm not actually. No, I was going to be there, but sadly I've got a family thing.
Oh,
so I can't.
Well, that's all right. Yeah. Family first, man. Family first.
Well, yeah, you say that, but if they're going to do the cinematic, I might be like, oh, I'm ill. I have to go to Germany.
Yeah.
You know.
It's one of my favorite things actually in this whole cycle is getting new cinematics. Blizzard's so brilliant with them that as excited as I am about the game and all the changes and everything else.
Well, did you see the Team Fortress 2 short movie?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, and it basically is just this massive excuse to talk about some of the new game stuff they're adding.
I hope they do that more too. By the way,
it's just filled with so much character and personality, and it's beautiful.
Yeah,
and it kind of feels like WoW should do these. There should be these sort of things using the in-game cinematic engine that they've used for patch trailers.
Yeah,
there should be more. There should be more kind of long form or short form, kind of 15-minute content.
Entirely in agreement because those guys with the whatever the source engine thing, source filmmaker thing.
Yeah.
They have built a hell of a tool, and a lot of people do amazing stuff with it. But when it's in their hands and they're doing their own things, that stuff is good enough that I would watch. I would subscribe to a series.
I would watch it. Yeah, exactly. I would nominate that for an Oscar.
Well,
it's beautiful.
I don't know if I go that far, but it's really good.
I would.
Would
it's
you?
Fantastic.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than most of the stuff you get out of animation houses these days.
All right.
I love it.
Okay, fair enough. Question over Twitter came to Watcher Dev, and the person asked, "What consumable buffs will we have in Warlords of Draenor? Excuse me. Secondary flasks, food, secondary." And one-time battle potions. He says pretty much that, plus health potions and Hearthstone on a separate shared cooldown. So they're not doing anything crazy there. What did I say?
Yeah,
I say Hearthstone, then Healthstone.
Yeah.
I mean, equally, again,
basically the same stuff
as a
we have
paladin.
Yeah, same crap we have now, dude.
Still a valid technique, though.
Dills, you're dead on. It's like, hey, we're not changing anything with that. Here you go. I don't know if that's exciting or what, but I guess there'll be a new food, right? It'll be like Garash's goulash or something dumb.
Wow, I'd eat that.
You'd eat that? You'd have a big heap and help.
It'd be better if they had like Garrosh's Kool-Aid. And we'd be like, I'm not sure about this.
Drinking the Kool-Aid there for the Horde.
Yeah. Exactly, for the Iron Horde, he's all like, I've come from the future.
Yeah.
Build things out of iron. And it's like, oh, okay, well, we never really thought of that.
Well,
yeah, cheers, mate.
Speaking of Gary, with Garage Gone, asked this question: why are most of the Horde buildings still following this horrendous, quote, 10,000 iron spikes, quote, unquote, idea? Muffinus, whatever, wrote back and says, Garage didn't invent spikes. Warcraft 3 Orc Farm was spiky before it was cool. Yeah, the motif for the Horde, it's always going to be that, dude. What do you expect?
It's got to be. It's got to be.
Right. What would you do to... I mean, I can't think of how I would want to... I want the Horde to look all rough and tumble and have giant spikes and horns and roughly hewn metal, and, you know, that's their thing. I mean, if anything, you should be complaining that the Alliance still have that ugly white brick motif they use everywhere. That's ugly. No one likes that.
Marble.
Right? Marble? Is it marble? All right.
That's what I'm the only thing I can think of that's white. Maybe limestone.
Fancy Varian Wren.
Well, I guess they could build it.
Varian Wren and his high-end expectations for all his shit.
Everything needs to have sharp edges.
Yeah.
It needs shiny.
You need to be able to get injured in your own place, dude. That's all I'm saying. You need to be able to walk around and go, oh, not just step on somebody left a Lego on the carpet. I mean, like, just run yourself through with a giant horn. It is a good day to die for the Horde. Chris Robinson, what's this? Oh,
so I just added it in.
Oh, so you put this in. This is cool.
Yeah, so he tweeted out just now, or like yesterday, can't remember when, that the human male World of Artcraft is coming soon.
No.
So we're going to see what the human males are going to look like.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on to your butts.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Are we going to...
I think it'd be quite cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that, actually. That's because it's the humans, dude. It's the humans.
Yeah, exactly. This is the big one. I mean, I still, to be honest with you, I'm not a fan of what Arthas looks like. You know,
Right.
they redid Arthas,
Right.
and he just looks a bit weird. And I don't know, are we going to get, you know, and like Caligos,
Yeah.
wow, that guy looks like something weird's happened.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm just excited to see what we're going to get.
Redone Arthas. Where are you seeing this? I want to see this.
No. I'm just saying, you know, the old one. He was a new human. You know, his face is a bit different from other humans.
I got all excited for about half a minute.
Obviously that would mean that we were getting something to do with Arthas.
Hey,
but sadly not.
Did either of you guys get this thing?
World of Warcraft, Warforged Nightmare.
Anybody buy that?
No, what's this?
It's that new Warforged Nightmare steed. Buy it on the shop.
Oh,
horse.
the group horse with a
the group part. The group part is very interesting. Letting everybody have the same when you're in the group. Everybody gets the same.
Because they get a hitching post.
Yeah, you got the hitching post there for it. I have to admit,
Which
this is
me,
one that kind
I
of
don't know if that's
me.
more of an American thing, a hitching post.
It is. It's very Western.
I've never had any sort of like desire to hitch up and ride out or.
American Australians probably have a little more history with the hitching post, but yeah, it's very American, I would say.
It's a cowboy thing.
Zach Head Utah says Scott Johnson, Varian is already emo enough. We don't need him cutting himself too. All right, fair enough, buddy. You make a good point. All right, so watch for that Artcraft thing soon. Who knows how soon, but soon.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Why, it's the town crier.
Oh, looky here. It's Town Crier. That means your emails and calls. If you want to call and leave us a voicemail, keep it short and interesting. 206-202-3969. That's 206-202-3-WOW. If you have a phone with little letters on it. Or you can email us, theinstance@gmail.com. Attachments are welcome, and regular emails are fine as well. Let's start with calls. This one from a good friend of the show talking about garrisons.
Hi, Scott Dills Interpster. Hunts the Wind here. I just wanted to follow up on your discussion last week about garrisons and alts. What I'd really like to be able to do in my garrison is to interact with my alts, access their banks, use their professions. That'd save me a ton of time switching between all my characters, and multiplied by millions of players would take a bit of a load off the servers. See you at Nerdtacular in a couple of weeks, and thanks for letting me be a part of the show.
All right, so we've talked about this. That'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your garrison is like your one-stop shop for just managing your account, that's fantastic.
Yeah. An in-game interface, really, to manage your everything about WoW. That'd be great.
And then, mobile team, please make us a mobile version of it. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Like mobile garrison.
You know, literally, if I can just if I just have a portrait of my alts, and I'll be like, oh, sweet. And then I can go through a menu and be like, oh, I'm going to craft some of this. You know, the one of the coolest things about the alpha is the new reagent bank.
Yeah.
Where it stacks up to 200 stacks. Literally, my bank in live is full. My bags on live are full.
Yeah,
and
it's ridiculous.
I
can't.
I have no space.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I will log in and I'll open up my bag and be like, oh, crap. And I'll go over to my bank and forget, like, oh, it's full. I'll be like, oh, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to go play Diablo. Or I'm going to go play Hearthstone.
Yeah, I know that.
Because it's just like, I can't do anything. I've got no space for stuff.
10 minutes managing my bags, you know?
So, honestly, that is one of the coolest things. And, I think equally having some quality of life around that, rather than saying I'm going to get a blacksmith follower, if my, Death Knight's a blacksmith as well, if he can be my blacksmith, that would be amazing. I still build a blacksmith to access his profession, or I don't know. Or maybe he just needs an anvil on the side.
Yeah.
I don't know how good he is.
That'd be all right. Either way. There's that one. Thanks, Hans, for the call. We got one here. Let's see. This one's about gold in the alpha and what we should expect from the final game.
Hey, Scott. This is Kuroji of Kill Jaden. And my question was, for the instance, what are the gold changes in Warlords of Draenor? Are you getting, 300 gold per quest now, or have things kind of mellowed out? I'm just wondering if the goods on the auction house are going to be, if all the prices are going to be skyrocketing and going to be through the roof for little things, or if the gold has kind of just mellowed out and it's somewhat the same as Mist. Thanks.
None of the auction house stuff is in there yet.
And I can't remember off the top of my head.
Terpster, this was a question just for Scott.
Oh, because he only said my name. Yeah,
he's consistent. He's here. I'll allow that.
Yeah,
I can't remember, in all fairness. So
I want to say the rewards felt normal. They didn't. I mean, normal.
The thing is that they have to keep growing gold. It's the one thing they can't squish.
Yeah, you can't squish that,
because
really.
if you squish gold,
it's already out there.
You get mad.
Yeah.
Equally, WoW is one of the best examples of an online economy that really kind of works.
Yeah.
Even with all the kind of gold farmers and hacked gold and all of that stuff, they put these fantastic gold sinks in the game that cost 25,000 gold. You want to buy this new mount? Well, that's going to cost you 50,000 gold.
Yeah.
And it just takes huge swathes of gold out of the economy, which is fantastic. So I fully expect gold to carry on.
Wonder if repair costs are going to be squished. You don't think so? Think that'll stay the same?
I think they'll stay the same because again it relates to currency, and I don't think they can touch that.
Yeah.
It would just be because otherwise, if you started playing in Warlords and we all had 100,000 gold, and in Warlords having 1,000 gold was a big deal, like back in vanilla.
Yeah.
I think that they would be on quite a disadvantage to the rest of the server.
Yeah.
So I think it's the only thing that they have to keep making.
I tend to agree. We'll see. They're not squishing gold, though, I can tell you that. There's no way you're just going to suddenly be getting 20 gold where you should have gotten 400 or something.
Yeah.
Let's get the emails. Got one here from Sean who says, hey, guys, love the show. Helps me get through the work week, so keep it up. I had a question for Dills in particular. As I understand, he is a snooker player. What is your highest snooker break? Snooker.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Snooker. She was from Jersey Shore, right? She has a kid now?
Snooker.
Yeah.
Snooker.
Kerr. Okay. Nailed it. What is your highest break? What does that even mean? What is that?
That's the first time you hit the ball.
When you hit the balls?
No.
Yeah.
That's not in snooker. That's called the break-off shot in snooker. Okay. The highest break is the most points you've gotten in a single inning at the table.
There's innings?
Yeah, well, yeah. If I make one trip to the table and then I miss, that's the end of my inning.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'd never heard that applied to that. That's crazy. All
right.
Oh,
yeah, they use that in pool too.
Okay.
But I don't play that much because I live in America and there's not a lot of tables. So my highest is something like 50 or something like that.
Did you have?
I think mine's saying really bad, like 147.
Right.
Oh, yours is 147. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember.
I've never gotten the thing for me is I haven't had enough time to really get used to the tiny little pockets and the tiny little balls and all that stuff. So yeah, 50 or so. I remember I had one where I potted red and black in a row like 3 times, and it was pretty good.
Didn't you used to have like a bar you went to that had?
Well, there's one place in the city that has them, but the problem is it's like $20 an hour to play.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so I don't go there anymore because it was breaking my bank.
Jeez, you could go buy one movie ticket for that in San Francisco.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I get like 2 to 3 hours of entertainment. So
sure.
There is a place in Emeryville, which is not that far away, that has a snooker table. So if I can find my way over there, going to play a little bit more.
All right.
But yeah, there you go. Good question.
Yeah.
50.
Let us
50,
know. 50 is pretty
which
good.
is not that good.
No,
it's, not that
it's
good,
terrible.
no.
I have no idea.
It's decent for someone who's not very good.
I have no idea what to
It's
compare
okay, Scott.
any
Don't
of this to.
disrespect it.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I've
Brandon.
never had a century break. That's
Okay, good. Brandon wrote in, says, hello, Scott, Dills, and Terpster. My name is Brandon, a.k.a. Bacardi Bleeding Hollow, on Bleeding Hollow US, rather. It's Bacardi on Bleeding Hollow.
Okay.
With the release of the new character models upon us, will we have an opportunity to redesign our characters at the release of 6.0? I guess what I'm asking is, what is the Forsaken Mage walking around Orgrimmar sees the new character model updates and no longer wants to be missing his lower jaw? Are we going to have to pay for these changes now that the characteristics of our beloved game Persona are more appealing? Cheers, Brandon. We don't know, but it would be nice if you could. It'd be cool if you could re-roll when you start.
Yeah, I think because they've remade all of the existing things, but obviously they don't look exactly the same. And equally in HD, you might have thought like, oh yeah, I'd rather have gone for that one.
Mm-hmm.
They've always shied away from doing stuff like this in game, like currently, because they're like, we don't think plastic surgery exists in Azeroth.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure goblins would do anything if you pay them enough.
Right.
So I don't think that's necessarily too true.
Well, yeah, look at the big bag of bones, fat guy. What are they called? He's in
Stitches?
The hot Stitches. Look at Stitches. What is he if not a horrible case of bad plastic
he
surgery?
was born that way, Scott. Don't
Yeah, he's very sensitive about his multiple
with his third arm,
opposing
giant hole in his
parts.
stomach.
Yeah, and his huge swaths of flesh that used to belong to somebody else. Sure,
can't help
but
it.
I understand.
But anyway, it's yeah, I think that's a cool point. It would be interesting. I don't know if it's a one-time thing. That's cool. If it's for people can keep doing it. I don't know how I feel about that as much.
Yeah,
I like things being a little bit more permanent.
We should ask somebody. Should ask us of a dev on Twitter. I think it's a really good question.
They haven't mentioned anything, so I'm not assuming that they will have this, but you could just add this to the barbershop for like a limited time or something.
Like a one-time shot. Like, hey, a goblin idiot is in there doing free facials or whatever.
Sweeney Todd is there with his
he'll cut you up.
His sharp knife.
Yeah, and they just rename him like Weenie Flawed or something.
Yeah.
And have some fun that way. Look, we've just designed it. Go ahead, Blizzard. Put that on the dock and let's go.
Done.
Right.
Next problem.
Next problem, please.
Next problem.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
That would be
coming,
this.
Everyone.
The drop of the week.
Drop of the week this week brought to you by GameTimeZone.com, where you can use the code Warcraft for 5% off your next game time at GameTimeZone.com. All right, so there's this really cool video. Blizzard put a behind-the-scenes video, mostly aimed at HOTS players, Heroes of the Storm. Dills probably saw this. What I said, just heroes. Is that all we're going to call it from now?
Don't call it HOTS. Yeah.
Just imagine your thrall. That's all you have to do. Heroes.
I keep hearing people at Blizzard saying HOTS, so I don't know.
The player base has decided not to do that because there's Heart of the Swarm and now Heroes of the Storm, and it just doesn't work.
And Half the Stone as well, so you have to have HOTS.
But isn't Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft? Like, there's another heroes in there, so you could like.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because
that's just Hearthstone.
Names it.
Oh, right, fine. But then other people say Hearthstone, and you want to punch them when they talk.
Well, those are Canadians, and Canadians say Hearth like Hearth.
Hearthstone, jeez.
Hey,
Hearthstone.
Hey,
it hurts when you say that.
No offense, Jocelyn. We love the way you say all your words.
She loves Hearthstone.
Yeah, it's great. So Blizzard is doing these cool behind-the-scenes videos with HOTS, and they've been doing with heroes, and they've been.
What did we just talk about?
I know, geez, I can't pay attention. So on the they've done a lot of like the hero videos and stuff like that, which is cool. But this is also like this nice behind-the-scenes voice actor thing, and I thought it was cool. It deals with the voice actor who is going to be.
What was your favorite?
Let me skip back here. Here we go.
He's Gazlowe.
He's Gazlowe. Now, it's important to WoW players because he's the guy that's giving you most of your early quests for your Garrison stuff. So same character. He's also appearing in Heroes of the Storm. And who knows, maybe he's a card or will be a card at some point.
He's my new hero of choice, actually, in Heroes of the Storm. I'm playing a lot of Gazlowe lately.
He seems rad with that giant robot
fun.
thing. Yeah.
Well, he's kind of sucks in actual fights against players, but what he's really good at is grabbing all the merc camps.
Yeah.
So you can just run around and you can solo all the merc camps really easily, and it really helps your team win.
Yeah.
So.
And Travis Willingham, known for many, many, many video game voices. He's done other stuff for Blizzard as well as many, many video games. And I love behind the scenes kind of voiceover-y stuff and how they work these things. And here's a taste of that guy talking. So here's this.
There was one that stuck out in my head that was like hey, nice explosion. I'd give it an 8.
Nice explosion. I'd give it an 8.
So anyway, if you want to see this guy on a mic doing his thing, I find that kind of stuff interesting. Other people might be bored. I don't know, but I liked it.
No, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. How the sausage is made. We'll link to it in the show notes, and you too can see how Gazlowe was created.
Nice explosion.
Nice.
I give it an 8.
Yeah, see, you could have done it. Why didn't they have you do it? What the hell's going on with that?
Because I'm not in the Screen Actors Guild,
Nice.
and they can only use SAG approved dudes. So
yeah, I you know what's funny? I may, because I did those GE commercials, I've had some other people say, "Hey, do you want to?" And I'm always
really?
the big holdup.
Nice.
The big holdup has been no SAG card, right?
Oh, really?
Because you can one off.
You should join the Screen Actors Guild.
I'm thinking about doing it, but it's expensive. It's like $2,000 up front and like some yearly ridiculous amount of money, and I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, but that's a weird union. And if you do some history about it, do you know James Cagney founded the Screen Actors Guild? Crazy. Think about that.
I don't even know who that is.
Terpster doesn't even know who that ancient Hollywood name is. That's okay. He was like, hey, listen to me, Shane. Listen here, buddy. Get out of town now, Shane.
Oh, he was that guy.
He was that guy.
He was the original gangster.
Yeah, he did all those old film noirs and stuff. OG, right.
Yeah.
The original OG.
Do you know they're making an NWA film? I only found this out the other day.
What?
Yeah.
About them?
Finally.
Yeah.
So will Ice Cube play himself?
No, I couldn't believe it. He's not.
He can't.
They've got like younger guys in to play them.
Yeah.
Because it's back when they were, OGs.
Yeah.
They're not, like, basically they're all still not even that old, which is weird.
They're really not, those guys.
No. Plus,
the
like,
police.
Dre now is like a billionaire.
Yeah, he's a multi-billionaire.
He's kind of,
works at Apple now. Who was the Eazy-E? He's dead. He had AIDS or something. There was some crazy.
Is he dead?
Oh, Eazy-E totally dead. Yeah, he's more than dead. He
died a long time ago.
Yeah, years ago, years and years. He ended up he slept around a lot and ended up getting HIV from millions of partners, or hundreds maybe, and ended up just dying. So he's gone. Don't know who else is around. I guess the rest of them are all right. But
I think that they're all pretty much around except for that.
Ice Cube, man. Listen, I want to just remind you guys how gangster those guys are. One of them is now a billionaire headphone designer, and the other one is in family movies. So there you go. Pretty hardcore, pretty gangster.
As it gets. They came straight out of Compton, and now they like own a lot of things.
Yeah.
So.
Now let's look. Ice-T used to be a cop killer, and now is a cop on a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
Body Count. Body Count just played a bunch of shows.
Oh, did they still?
That's also his penance, though, isn't it? For killing a cop, he now has to be a cop.
He has to play one for the rest of his life on Law and Order SVU.
Across from Belzer.
Yeah,
Bells.
That's right. Hanging out with Richard Belzer. I wonder if those guys.
By the way,
get along.
Scott, every time I see the commercial with your voice, it's just I can't just get past that it's your voice. I don't know. Like the thing about voice acting, is it needs to be some kind of disembodied voice, you know?
Yeah.
But when it's your voice,
it's because you know me, right?
So I'm not gonna buy one of those cars. I'm afraid. Sorry, it didn't work on me.
Let me. Hold on. Well, actually, it was GE, so it was not quite cars, but I get your point.
I'm not gonna buy.
What is it?
Washing machine.
Hold on, I'm gonna find it and I'll play it.
Do they do microwaves?
Always.
They do everything.
I need a new microwave, Scott. Can you hook me up?
Of course. So here's an example of
I'll
that.
go and get one. I'll say, I think you'll find it's free. And they say, no, sir, it's not free. And then I say, oh, really? My friend, the voice of GE, says it is.
So here's one.
Like, oh, sorry. We did not know. You knew the voice of GE. I was like, yes, I do.
Here's the hurdle one. You can just hear it on the show for fun here. All right? Let's skip ahead here. These can be seen on YouTube.
Is this royalty-free music?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think they paid for it. GE understands how a super body can do super things, like fly, in the hurtling sense of the word. Anyway, have you not seen these?
Not actually fly, because obviously, GE is also a realist.
Right.
We understand you can fly in a plane,
right.
And they're like, Scott, could you do that again, but just without the clarification of fly, because they get it. They get it.
They understand. Yeah. Anyway, there's a whole series of those, and now there's interest, and now I got to decide if I want to spend that money. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know why I brought all this up, but the major important thing to say is we're done. That's the end of the show, everybody.
Oh, okay.
Have a great freaking week, and
we believe you can listen.
Yeah.
To us talking about things that have happened this previous week.
That's right.
In the
In the podcasting sense of the word.
Right, in the podcasting sense.
We also obviously understand you can listen to other things, such as your significant other.
Hold on.
Potentially
Hurdlers
someone
use stomach
you
muscles to soar. More specifically, the psoas muscle. Listen to me
Oh,
talking
my
about
God.
listen to me talking about muscles I've never.
I was worried I didn't know
They
specifically
use
which
the
stomach
psoas muscle on TV.
All
I was
right.
just thinking like the ab, but then I realized I was wrong.
Yeah, you should hear me talk about rowers. Man,
But
that
you
one
went
got
into
deep.
specifics. Oh, did it?
Yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah, real
Keep
deep.
going.
Anyway, so there's that. Let's get out of here. Dill's always busy with the angry chicken and the Into the Nexus stuff going well there.
Yes,
Yeah.
stuff's going well. Tune in Monday and Thursday if you want to see the live show.
amove.tv is where you can do that.
Yeah,
of
and then
course-
MGA Mediocre Golf Association, we are about to have our FU Open this coming Saturday. So that'll be followed by the Bradish, of course. So there's still plenty of time to join if you want to play golf badly.
if you're a bad golfer, there's a home
There's a
here.
place for you to play.
Absolutely. Willie Dills on Twitter. Terpster, anything from you? Anything cool? Got anything? Your
No,
behind the
just
scenes
checking
Yogscast
out
E3 stuff was great,
Siegecraft,
by the way.
Siegecraft Black Fuse. So
Yeah.
if you don't mind, you might notice my audio quality went bad. It's because my queue opened up. So
Oh, lovely.
I've been in it for like an hour. So
Yeah.
don't hate me.
I understand. It's fine. You sound good, actually. You haven't really had a
Okay,
problem.
that's all right. I
Yeah.
keep lagging in the game and just freezing up, and I'm just like, oh well, he's nearly dead, so that's cool.
All right, fair enough. The_T on Twitter, and you can see him all over the internet if you're watching anything the Yogscast puts out. That's going to do it for us. MatthewOxley.com did our music today. Thanks to our intern, Paul Swickard. Leave us reviews on iTunes if you're so inclined. Theinstance.net is where you'll find show notes for this episode. Paul puts those together. We are at Instance Show on Twitter. I am at Scott Johnson. I already told you the other guys. Let's see. Facebook.com/TheInstance for more shows like this. Check out frogpants.com. We are about 2 weeks away from Nerdtacular 2014.
Oh, my God.
And I'm super stoked to see you all there. That's going to do it for us, for me, for Dills, for Terpster. We'll see you next time.
Later. I forgot. Chat room just reminded me. I forgot to mention my rap video.
Oh, you did a rap video.
Yeah.
That's right. I've not heard the rap video yet.
No?
I desire to
Yeah.
hear it.
You have to take 2 steps though in this. First, you have to watch the one that it's based on,
And here,
which is Stitch's "Brick in Your Face."
wow.
Not safe
One.
for work
I beat.
It
because there is drug references, and
Okay.
references to machine guns.
okay. How about boobs? Any boobs?
No boobs. Just a dude with tattoos on his face.
Okay. I'm
and
in
then,
then. You've got me. I'm in.
Yeah, and then you watch MGA, or I think it's just Mediocre Golf Association is the YouTube channel. Stick from My Case, which is our parody of it
Oh, wow.
about mediocre golf. Yeah,
Okay. I'm
and
in
just
then.
remember, it's actually me rapping.
Okay.
I actually rapped, and I actually made the whole beat too.
I'm
So,
really excited to hear this, actually.
yes,
Getting back to your roots, man.
getting back to my roots
That's
as a
right.
dope rapper.
You're hip.
That's why I have a lot of understanding when it comes to NWA. Because
As
I am also
Dills' days as a dope rapper coming back, full force, full steam.
Mhm.
I'm in.
Once you're a dope rapper, Scott, you're always a dope
All
rapper.
right,
That's-
you never lose the title of dope
No.
rapper.
No,
It doesn't matter whether Ice Cube could make 100 terrible kids movies. It's still a dope rapper at the
He's
end.
still a dope rapper. Yeah,
Yeah.
underneath it all.
Right.
Underneath that fun dad exterior that he is now.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Also, once
dope
a inner city cameraman, a camera crew for Anaconda.
anacondas,
Always,
yes.
always that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never goes away.
By the way, that movie's so bad it's good.
I agree.
Like, have you guys done that?
We
for
did it on
Film
FilmSack, yep, and it
Okay,
was
good.
brilliant. And when
Thank God.
when he gets coughed up at the end and winks at you, brilliant.
Yeah, it's the best death ever.
Oh my gosh!
Oh man.
If he leaves any legacy at all, for me, it's that.
I think it was Voight's greatest character ever because he,
completely
for
agree.
whatever reason, he decided to take on this bizarre accent. And like, I don't understand why when they presented him that character, he came back to them and he was like, all right, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm never going to open my mouth fully.
Yeah.
I'm just going to always have like a weird frown.
Right.
I'm going to lean back a lot. I'm
Yep.
just going to tilt my head back a lot.
Yep.
And I'm going to somehow be like from the bayou.
Yep.
Something.
It's
And
something.
they were like, perfect.
I don't know what that
Perfect.
accent was. What a pile of garbage. It really is so bad it's good.
it's an attempt at some sort of a Louisiana Bayou accent, but it's not pulling it off.
I recommend it. I really do. People should be people should check that stuff out.
Yeah. Don't see the second, third, or fourth one though.
No, recommend highly against doing that. Those are actually just straight up bad. There's nothing good happening there. Nobody winks at you when they pop out of the other side of the snake. That horrible CGI snake.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great day, one and all. And may
you as well.
May you find greatness in the, I don't know what I'm trying to say, in the next time you're on the BART. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that'll probably happen.
See you guys.